it's actually so mathematical. Like, if you cross the line, if you pass go, you do not collect $200. Like, I'm in a blue box with me and my imagination talking to a tennis ball half the time. But also they get to like make me I'm gonna flex the coolest props.
We spoke yesterday, but I have plenty of questions about this show because it's so good and your character is so complex. One of my first questions I was noticing throughout season 2 is everyone has a lot of thoughts about your character and what you did last season, and you have vice versa. But no one really, like, Maddie doesn't bring up that her arm's gone. So what, like, and especially to like Marie, like there's never really a conversation about that. So what does Maddie think about that?
That is so true. Yeah, it's kind of like the elephant in the room, I think, yeah. What does Maddie think about her Kate's lack of an arm?
Her lack of arm, and knowing that Marie's the one that did that.
The one that did that? I think that, I don't know, I think that for me, as Maddie, Kate's got to understand that there's a lot of, it's a complicated situation. There's a lot of nuance. I know that Cate knows what it's like to feel really torn, knows what it's like to sort of like change her mind about things, and she knows what it's like to sort of come from a home with a lot of pain. And so I would like to think that maybe just deep down inside she's not bringing it up because she kind of gets it in a way. But that's me hoping that Kate's kind of more evolved than she might be.
How is Cate finding life now that she has only one arm?
Sorry, it was also an accident, really. Marie didn't really mean to do it, you know.
It could have been something else, like her head, and that could have been way worse.
Yeah, like I don't know how intentional she was about doing it. I think it was just like a reaction, you know. So I don't know. I'm gonna give her a little bit of grace.
That's fair. That's fair. How is she finding life with only one arm? Is everything like, how is it, like, is it much harder for her, and like has it really affected just her ability to use her powers? Like, she really has like one lifeline left.
Totally. Oh, it's different. Yeah. I mean, it made me feel really grateful to have two arms because it was a struggle doing things on set, but I could always just like pop my real arm out and like, you know, do whatever I needed to do. But it is a really huge change. I have a lot of respect for people that have to deal with that, you know. So yeah, it's an adjustment.
Last question for you. You were also on The Boys. What was it like going from Gen V, then seeing the world of The Boys, and now coming back to Gen V? Like, what are the differences between those sets, that story, and just those environments?
Yeah, the differences, well, for starters, the cast have been doing it for a lot longer, so they have this sort of like calm confidence about them. And I mean, the sets themselves were just, you know them so well from watching the show. Like being in the Seven Towers is really a trip. I really noticed just like there's just like a different energy. You know, like we're doing a college show, so we sort of have that kind of youthful, playful, like young people spirit when we're on set. We're goofing around, and like I feel like, you know, a lot younger than I really am when I'm on set, and I'm not mad about it. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations again. Thank you. Good to see you again. I'm Russ Milheim from The Direct. Yes, I'm good. How are you? Nice to see you as well. It's exciting to be here. Also, I love the outfit, by the way.
Thanks so much.
I know you can't walk in it, but, you know, sacrifices.
No, I can waddle.
There you go.
I watched Penguins before this. Yes.
Well, my one question for you is just, you know, going into season 2, how did the process of filming those, you know, small scenes, like, how did that change? And, like, what is that process? Even though there's no big penis this time around.
Oh my God, my penises, what am I doing? No, I think, you know, it's actually so mathematical. Like, if you cross the line, if you pass go, you do not collect $200. Like, I'm in a blue box with me and my imagination talking to a tennis ball half the time. But also they get to like make me I'm gonna flex the coolest props. Like, they built me a huge beer can.
Do you still have it?
That huge thing, where am I going to put it?
I don't know.
I did at one point.
Living room?
No. I actually wanted to take the penis home and put that as my coffee table. I think it'd be a great conversational piece, to be honest. But yeah, no, I love being Tiny and Big Emma. I do. Yeah.
You were great. Thank you so much, and I look forward to this. My first, or just my only question that I want to ask is, with your powers, right? What are the practicalities of that on set? How much are you actually getting blood all over you all the time, or versus it's just CGI? What is the balance there?
I feel like it's mostly practical. I don't want to speak out of line. I mean, anytime it's flying through the air, obviously they
you really
do that.
did
Well,
that.
no,
You really
I guess
did
when
that.
blood is on people, it's practical. When it's on the ground, it's practical. Anytime it's airborne, that's CG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, and I look forward to this thing.
For sure.
For my one question, I asked yesterday about romance, but I want to take it in a different direction. And when it comes to romance, your character's dealing with so much outside of that this season. How does that new wrinkle of having to deal with whatever that romance means kind of affect her decision-making and what she does throughout the season?
I think the romance honestly drives Jordan more this season. I think it was there in season 1. And now it's just so much stronger. And I think one of our flaws is how loyal we are and how much we love Marie. And so it's definitely adds high stakes.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing this with everyone. Congratulations on the show. I'm a huge fan of it, and I love it deeply. My first question is coming into season 2, right? Right off of season 4 of The Boys, Homelander kind of establishes a new status quo. Can you talk about how you guys, took that and utilized it to its fullest through the story of season 2?
Homelander's America that he set up at the end of season 4 was a terrific launching pad for our season, and we don't pick up directly afterwards. There's some time has passed between the end of The Boys and our start, so it's already been underway. So we get to sort of come into a whole new world and find all of our characters in completely different places than where we last left them. So it really, in some ways, it was too many possibilities at the beginning of the writers' room. Where there's so much we could do. How do we pick a? At the end of the day, it's any of them would have been good. I'm really happy with what we did, but yeah.
This season also kind of dives way deeper into some of the toxic mentalities and patterns that these soups can fall into when they use their powers, kind of like Marie cutting herself and thinking that's perfectly okay. Can you talk about exploring that more this season?
In this season, the season is a lot about what we call and what Eric Kripke calls leveling up. So, which means a couple of different things. You can level up your power, meaning, now Starlight can fly. She couldn't be able to do it before. But we also made it mean leveling up yourself. So, for instance, Emma has to binge or purge to get large or small. At the end of the first season, we see for the first time she's able to get small without purging. And we sort of explore that with a couple of the characters. Can you access your powers without harming yourself?
Yeah. What do you think what are the long-term plans for Gen V? Do you think there's another season, or is it going to wrap up at the end of 2 and kind of just go into the end of the Boys universe?
I don't know. I think there's more in it, but I know just as much as you do.
The Boys season 4 set the stage perfectly for Gen V season 2. How much thought was, as you were just doing the story for season 4 of The Boys, how much thought was there in knowing that there was going to be Gen V season 2 and that there was a show coming right after to deal with the aftermath?
They are starting to break and talk about season 2 let me restart that. They're starting to work on Gen V usually when we're about halfway through writing and creating The Boys, and then vice versa, right? So there's enough overlap that me and Michele Fazekas, the showrunner, we can really have a dialogue about what stories are you interested in telling? Here's the world. Luckily it helped, and I think she knew early on that it's okay, it's going to be this sort of fascist, intense world that's going to require rebels, and we knew that very early, and so she knew that very early, and that, I'm sure colored whatever she was working on in the room. But we would talk every day, every other day, and she would say, hey, we're thinking this. And I'd say, well, actually, that would be really cool if you moved it over this way because we have this character and they're going here. Yeah. So it's it just becomes a collaboration, and you just sort of figure it out by just talking it all through.
How much does Gen V season 2 set up The Boys season 5 directly? What can you say? Very little, I'm sure.
I mean, I can say that it really sets it up. I mean, the Boys characters that you see in Gen V, they carry those stories forward into The Boys. There's some, crossover where we return the favor of some Gen V people coming over to The Boys. But the biggest thing is just like what the world is like, in that it's a world that needs a resistance.
Yeah. It does.
And then you see that really evolve, into The Boys.
I do want to ask about The Boys. What was really interesting to me last season was seeing there was a backlash about Huey. And just kind of, they were like, oh, our boy Huey's being treated so poorly. What were your thoughts on that backlash and just kind of that passion behind Huey of like, oh.
I mean, I always really appreciate and respect the fans' opinion. And I see the point. I do. I think so much of the show is Huey's coming of age and really growing from the kid you met in the pilot to this fully functioning adult and badass in the final episode. And you really have to go through a gauntlet and a crucible to become that. And so, he had to go through a lot of tough times that season to really finally have that final push into maturity. So it was all like justified to the character. Like, did it get a little too gnarly at times? Probably, yeah. But I think it was, we always start with what's necessary for the character, and I think he needed to go through a lot of that to become his fully realized self, which is really the heart and soul of The Boys.